All right, I'd like to welcome you today to the 300 word Facebook ads formula webinar that I use to attract qualified coaching clients, obviously from Facebook, without posting on social media, networking, or wasting time with random referrals. In this webinar, you're going to discover why Facebook ads is the easiest, best, and fastest way to get clients, even if everything else you have tried lately has failed. Why you don't need to be personally on Facebook, ever make a post, or network with everybody and anybody and still get clients from the ads. You don't need to be spending time posting all over Facebook and doing all kinds of organic outreach. You don't need to do that. Things have changed over these last couple of years. That's made Facebook ads a lot easier, and I want to explain it to you. You're also going to discover the #1 strategy that's working today if you can't get more than a couple clients per month and you feel like you have tried everything. You're going to discover why everything has changed due to artificial intelligence when it comes to getting coaching clients, and why virtually all coaches will run out of clients if they don't make this change. Facebook ads is way easier now than it's ever been, way easier than it was in 2000, 2001, 2, 3, so on and so forth, because of artificial intelligence. It's made it easier to get clients if you know how to use it, okay? You're going to discover why COVID changed everything when it comes to getting coaching clients online, and why it's getting harder for coaches the further away we get from the COVID shutdown. Now, it was a few years ago, but the lingering effects in the coaching space are still here, and the effects of it are actually causing a lot of problems for coaches. I'm going to explain what that is and how to combat it so that hopefully you can get clients, okay? You're going to discover why creating content to build trust and get clients has quit working for the most part for coaches, and what to do instead that's easier, gets clients faster, and inevitably seems to be making coaches more money that I've been using. Because also, you're going to discover why focusing on the next tool or funnel and spending all day becoming a marketer will actually make it harder to get coaching clients. Because again, so much has changed. If you know what you're doing, it's gotten easier. For those who don't know what they're doing, it's gotten harder. And I want to explain to you what I've been doing. You're also going to discover the one change Facebook made that has made it, in my experience and opinion, the single best place in history to get coaching clients for relatively cheap, and how to leverage this change that's happened in this last little while, okay? Also, the secret system I use that works to reel in clients, again, without posting all the time on Facebook, private messaging people, checking in with prospects, or creating content all day long, because nobody likes that. No coach became a coach to direct message people to see if they want their stuff, to basically cold outreach, to create tons of content that nobody wants to engage with. It just doesn't, no coach does that. No coach wants to do enrollment calls with people who are unqualified. We're going to talk about how to stop that. The one simple strategy that literally 99% of coaches never use, that's been working like crazy for me to get clients from Facebook, and I want to share that with you. And the secret reason why the next 12 months could be the best months ever for getting clients, with a big if you use this strategy, why the old way of leveraging credibility is not working. So it's not helping coaches stand out. Getting an Amazon best-selling book, hey, that's great if you have one, but so do, 500,000, a million other coaches. It seems like every coach has an Amazon best-selling book, and that's great. But when everybody has the same thing, it takes away the value of it. Adding more certifications and associations to your social media profile. Hey, I bet those certifications and associations are helping you to become an amazing coach. So when you work with somebody, they're getting the best experience ever. But the problem is it's not helping coaches get more clients. Nobody is looking for somebody who's got the most certifications and in the most associations and has pictures with the most A-list celebrities. Because here's the problem. Everybody's doing it. When thousands upon thousands of coaches are all in these certifications and have pictures in their or their social media profiles with all these A-list celebrities, and everybody does it. It's like the same thing with writing a book. That worked years ago. People were like, oh my gosh, they have a book, they must be an expert. But guess what? Everybody's got a book. Piling up tons of client testimonials, okay? Obviously, that's, it's good to have some, but when everybody's got hundreds of them and you don't know if they're real or not, it doesn't help, okay? Getting thousands of social media followers. That was great 10 years ago when people would see that you're like, hey, you got thousands of followers. They're like, they must be an amazing coach. They got thousands of followers. Well, guess what? Thousands of coaches have thousands of followers, hundreds of testimonials, all kinds of certifications, associations, doctorate degrees, all that kind of stuff, 5 Amazon best-selling books. So it's diluted the effectiveness of it. So we're going to talk about how to fix that, okay? Who is this for? This is if you're a coach who's struggling to get clients from content creation, social media posting, or Facebook groups, or you've tried paid advertising and failed. Google ads, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, and so on. Or coaches who do not want to become a marketer in order to get clients. Very few coaches said, hey, you know what? I just want to become like a marketing guru. I want to learn all the technologies and tools. And no, coaches, I'm sure, like yourself, are saying, I just want to coach people. I've got this expertise and I can change people's lives, and I just want to coach and make decent money at it, right? And take care of my family, my retirement, my future, travel, have the mobility of doing this business from anywhere, and really live a good life. I don't want to become some marketing guru or sales expert, right? So this is for you, okay? If you want to add at least $10,000 a month to your business. Now, this is very important. It's not a claim. I'm not saying you will. Here's what I'm saying. If you are a hobbyist and you're just trying to be a coach to get some extra gas money or, whatever, just like it's just not serious for you, then this webinar is not for you, okay? This is only for coaches who are serious about growing their coaching business, not hobbyists or people who are just like, I got nothing else to do, and so I guess I'll be a coach. Not for you, okay? Now, what makes this webinar different? Well, let me tell you a quick story as we get into it. How I went from being a broke pastor and a ski bum from Canada to building, a multi-million-dollar coaching business with this simple method I'm going to share with you. So my name is Jason Nyback. I lived in Canada, okay? I grew up with a learning disability, and I grew up in a little farm town of 10,000 people just outside of Edmonton. It's about an hour outside of Edmonton, and life was hard for me. I was born, my parents had no money. My dad went bankrupt 5 or 6 times when I was growing up. We lived in a single wide trailer with very little insulation. And when I was born, it was so cold out in 1977, when I was born in December, that the toilet bowl was frozen when they brought me home because it was like minus 35, and snow and all that kind of stuff. I had a tough upbringing, and I got into education. I fell really behind in school, and being in a small farm town, they didn't have the academic resources to help me. So I barely graduated high school, and it was bad. It was really bad, and I had a lot of trouble just learning academically, and I struggled a lot. So what I did is I went to Bible college. It's been a part of my life for when I was a kid and stuff like that, and I became a pastor. I got a theology degree. Luckily, they let me in because they were like, he's a good guy, we'll overlook his academic stuff. And I worked really hard, and I got a bachelor's degree in theology and became a Christian pastor, okay? And I was a pastor for a short period of time in Northern California, in the Bay Area, in the Silicon Valley. I lived in Mountain View, and I was a pastor in Sunnyvale, which is in the Silicon Valley. But I moved back to Canada because of visa issues. It was really hard. And so I was a pastor in one of the largest, most flagship churches in the country. I was an associate pastor there. It was a church of about 2,500 in weekly attendance. And then what happened is I started helping churches with their own websites. So this is back in 2003. And me and my partner, he was really technical. I am clearly not. But I was like, hey, we're going to help these churches get online, right? Because it's 2003 and everybody's coming online. So we started doing that. And we got about 150 clients and churches. And I had to go full time, right? And so I started helping them. But something happened in about 2005 is where the GoDaddy and all these sites came out, and they basically were automating everything. And so we saw the writing on the wall. So we sold that company, which is still around today. And they do more customized work instead of all this other stuff that we were doing with some web hosting and stuff. And they're still around. So I went into the coaching space, and look, you know, my past as a pastor is still a huge part of my life. We do a lot of investing in church planting overseas in Ethiopia and in Addis Abbey in over in that area there. But at any rate, I just move on. So I started getting coaching, and I started helping people learn how to use paid traffic, and I failed at pretty much everything. Here's my list of failures. I tried one-on-one coaching. I tried group coaching. I wrote over 10,000 articles. I tried writing content, putting it on Facebook and all these other places. I got over 107,000 social media followers, okay, on my Facebook page. I tried endless YouTube videos. I had over, now it's about 9,500 because people have left LinkedIn, so I got about 9,500 LinkedIn connections. I did search engine optimization, networking, webinars, all of it, new funnels, okay? And then guess what? But then I was like, it's not working. And so I remembered way back when I logged into Facebook to run an ad, got my first ad account back. I could not figure out how to get one client. You got to remember, I've been doing this part-time since 2003, full-time since 2005, okay? So when Facebook started, up until Facebook, I was using Google Ads, and I got really successful at it and did really well. I could not make Facebook work, and I could not get one client. This is when Facebook ads was at like 5 or 10 cents a click, and it was horrific. So I quit, and I said, forget this, and I came back about a year and a half later, and I made it work. I started with $300, failed again, but I said, I'm gonna make this work. So I cracked the code on getting qualified clients. And so here's how much I've spent on Facebook since about April 6, 2021. And you can see the dates here. I just took a snapshot. That's, $2,873,520.97. Now, which, it doesn't factor in, I have other ad accounts and stuff like that. This is just one ad account. So it is more than that. And I spend about $1 million a year right now on Facebook ads and continue to grow. So I figured it out and I made it work. Here's a copy of thousands of call bookings that have come in. And this is just one page. I have other pages as well, but just as an example. And, got over 100,000 followers on my business page. And look over here, this is 31,500 webinar registrations on the far right. I want to show you something. See where it says show up rate? The second column to the right, 70%. This is cold traffic, okay? This is not, I didn't email my email list and get these people to show up to a webinar. All these people are cold, meaning they saw an ad, they registered for my webinars and showed up, 70%. If you know anything about webinars, you probably know that the average show up rate for a webinar is about 25%. I mean, if you're giving away, doing a raffle to give away an iPad or a car or something like that, might go higher. How is it that I can do this when all these other gurus out there are struggling to get 25, 30% show up rates? I'm going to share with you that. Now, see this webinar conversion thing? It's showing 0 because the platform I use to run my webinar, I don't use their webinar conversion things. I have a better one. So anyway, then finally, guess what happened? When COVID hit, me and my family, my wife, who I've been with since I was 16, we didn't get married at 16, we got married at 22. My wife, who I've been with my whole life, my first girlfriend, and our 2 kids, we packed up during COVID and moved to Las Vegas, okay? We were on a temporary visa and we wanted just a better life for our kids. Canada's a great country. I loved it. I'm proud of it. But taxes are high. Winter's really cold. And so we wanted to move and give our kids more options. And I had a temporary work visa that my kids could not stay on past 21. So I needed a green card. And the problem was there was no path to permanent residency. So I had to apply and win a visa. It's called extraordinary ability or exceptional. I think it's an exceptional ability visa. I had to prove to the U.S. government that it was the best interest of the U.S. government to waive an employer sponsorship, to self-sponsor myself, and that they would think it was in the best interest of the United States to give me and my family permanent residency. I had a 600-page application. It cost me $1,000 in legal and professional fees to get it all done. And it was based on what I've done and my coaching business. They scrutinized everything and awarded me a permanent residency green card for me and my family so we could stay in America, which I'm extremely grateful. I just love this country. But that's the power of what I've done and how it's benefited me. So, and I'm going to be a citizen in 3 or 4 years. There's a waiting period, but I got to pass that darn citizenship test. I'm a little worried about that. I'm terrible at tests, but I'll practice ahead of time. I'll practice about a year out. So anyways, that's my story. So why Facebook and why now? Well, let's look at this for a second. It's the most popular social network as of April 2024. Look at that. 3 million active daily users, okay, or monthly active users. Instagram is down here as well. So you can combine the two of them. You got 5 billion daily active users, okay? Now, a lot of people ask, well, should I run Instagram ads or should I run Facebook ads? Here's my thoughts on that. After coaching over 1,000 coaches, I've never seen a niche yet where if they're on Instagram, they're also on Facebook. If you feel like your audience is only on Instagram, you can start there, that's fine. But here's what we found with Facebook. What we found is that the targeting is better, it's more accurate, and you can write text-based ads, and it's easier to optimize it. Then what we do is we recommend taking what we do on Facebook and then testing it on Instagram, because Instagram's a little more complicated with their targeting and stuff like that. Also, video ads work best on Instagram, so it's a little more work and there's a lot more variables and stuff like that. So we always recommend we start on Facebook ads in every market we've ever seen, and then if a person wants to expand on Instagram ads, great, go for it, that's fine. But we use the data and tracking and success from the Facebook ads and then leverage it into Instagram ads. So that's the short of it. Now, the majority of teens visit YouTube and TikTok. Why would I share this with you? Well, look at it, okay? Facebook is the lowest social media network for teens, people 13 to 17. Why is that a good thing? Because they're not taking over Facebook, okay? I have 2 teenagers. They don't have Facebook accounts. What's happened with social media sites is very important is they age up, okay? So what that means is when people start on Facebook 10, 15 years ago, they grow with it. So Facebook is an older audience. I'm 47 and majority of people are, it's 35 plus. And what we found is that Facebook is a great site to get clients in terms of ads if you're trying to get that 35 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus. We work with a lot of people 65 plus, and there's huge audiences in there, and the kids are not overtaking it. They're on these other sites and stuff like that. So this is more of a reason why you need to be there. Facebook stats for business. There's more than 1 billion people connect with business on Facebook each week, and 200 million businesses use some sort of meta app, right? That's either Instagram, WhatsApp, or Facebook. So this myth that my people are only on LinkedIn because they're business people is completely wrong. I have yet to see a market, a business coaching market that you can't find the people on Facebook. I mean, clearly they're there. So it's a lot of people. So if you're targeting business owners, there you go. There's the numbers right from Facebook, okay? According to Syl Schamberger, used to be whatever the big deal at Facebook, right? She used to be a super high up and the second in charge, I believe. So the other thing is look at the amount of spend coming in. They figure by 2025, 69 million people will be making at least one purchase a year off of Facebook. This is huge, okay? Last thing, you can't see the top. This is news consumption. Facebook again. So Facebook is amazing, but if Facebook ads are so great, why is it so hard? Why do you feel like you want to punch a hole through your computer? Maybe you did. I couldn't when I started out because I couldn't afford a new computer. I was so broke, right? I would have punched through my $200 computer I got from Costco, and then I'd have been out of business. So why is it so frustrating? If it's so amazing and everything's so great, why? Well, look, I discovered the hard way to doing Facebook ads, and you get to cheat and get the easy way. So let me share with you what I did wrong. So hard way number 1, I did what most coaches were doing to try and get clients from Facebook, okay? I boosted posts, right? You have followers on your business page and Facebook's like, boost a post and we'll send them all to them. That's crazy because there's no targeting. You don't know where they're going. It's not a true ad. It's just a lighting money on fire, okay? The second thing is automatic placements, okay? When you run an ad, like think about it. You're running your ad to Instagram, your feeds, the stories, the audience network, right-hand column, all these places. You've got to separate them out because we need to know it's going to work on Facebook news feeds because the quality of traffic is different on every single one of these. Also, the ad has to be structured different. You can't, like, if you run an ad for the Facebook newsfeed, it has to be designed different if it's going to succeed on Instagram newsfeed. It's just the way it is, okay? You don't have to. Facebook will cram it in there, and then Instagram will charge you $50 a click for it. And the worst thing is this audience network. I don't even know what that is. We tested it about $1,000 worth a couple weeks ago just to throw some money at it and see what it would do. I'll tell you what, it's the biggest disaster I've ever seen. I've never spent money on that again. Okay, so you've got to separate these out, and we always start with the news feeds first, and then you can test the other ones after it's working. Hooking together all these interest groups and running a campaign. Like, how do you know it's going to work? How do you know each of these are going to send you qualified people? When you hook them all together, and it's great, you're reaching 830,000 people, but what if Napoleon Hill, the people interested in Napoleon Hill are not qualified? What if the only qualified ones are coming off Robert Kiyosaki or Tony Robbins or whatever? You don't know that, and so you're getting all this unqualified traffic coming your way, and you don't know how to sort it out. You're like, why are all these broke people booking calls? What do I do? Okay, so you're starting to see how this compounds. And the hard way number two is I thought that spending more money I didn't have would make it work. It's sort of like Vegas where I live now, right? People come here and they spend money and hope and hope and hope. And hope's a really bad strategy. And so I use what I call the launch and hope strategy, which I highly suggest you don't use. It's basically like this. I launched my campaigns and then stuck my head in the sand. And I was like, oh, I hope it's going to work. I hope it's going to come, that the applications are going to come in. I really hope this thing's going to work. And guess what? It didn't. And hope doesn't work, okay? You have to know the numbers. You have to know. It's like you can't just get in your car and drive somewhere you've never been before. You got to know how to get there, okay? The third hard way, I kept thinking there was an easier and free way to get high-tick clients other than Facebook. So here's the 8 hardest ways. Networking. I mean, who really gets excited about getting dressed up and going to some networking event or some online networking thing that's not scalable, right? Like, it's not predictable. You want a system where it's like calls show up on your calendar with qualified people regularly without you having to go do the hard work. That's the whole point of ads. Books and speaking. Okay, again, you need an audience to write. You write a book, that's great. Nobody's going to read it unless you have a pre-built audience of people who can consume that book. And same thing with speaking. It's great to do once in a while, but who wants to get on a plane and go speak and all that kind of stuff? If you do, that's great, but it doesn't bring in consistent clients. It's not every week, every day, or whatever you want, right? It's like you got to go do it. It's great if it's like the icing on the cake, but you need consistent clients to pay the bills, okay? Blogging, podcasting. Again, blogging used to work great, but the search engines are full. It's so hard to get any traction. Podcasting, great. Create a podcast, but here's the problem. If you don't already have a pre-built audience of thousands of people on your email list and your Facebook groups and all that kind of stuff, nobody's going to listen to your podcast because there's just too many of them out there, right? The next thing is referrals. Hey, that's great, but the problem with referrals is they're really hard to get when you only have a couple clients. Same with like joint ventures. Again, really hard to scale. Social media, free social media. The problem is like Facebook is looking for social action. So when you create a post on Facebook and only 6 people like it, it might be the best post in the history of Facebook with the most amazing content. But the problem is Facebook's going to be like, there's like 6 people who liked it. We're not going to show it to everybody. The average reach of a post on Facebook is somewhere between 1 to 5%. It means if you have 1,000 friends, 1,000 followers or whatever, likely 1 to 5% of them are actually going to see the vast majority of your posts, okay? You can't scale a coaching business like that. Or LinkedIn connecting. Look, I got tons of LinkedIn connections. It's extremely hard to just connect with everybody on LinkedIn because they've restricted it now because everybody's been spamming people. So you're only allowed a certain amount of connections, and it's a really exhausting way to do it. So the next thing is hard way number 4 is I outsource my ads early on. Okay? I mean, why not get an expert to do it, right? Well, here's the problem. It's very expensive to hire an ad agency, at least $2,000 a month for a decent one, all the way up to $20,000 a month for the best, okay? Plus, they want at least $100 or $200 a day in ad spend immediately, okay? We recommend starting at 10 to 20 bucks a day to test. So, not that high, okay? That's crazy. And they have one job. They need to send you cheap clicks. Their job is to send you cheap leads, cheap clicks, and your job is to enclose those people. The problem is cheap leads rarely, if ever, equal qualified coaching clients. Ever, okay? I rarely ever see it where somebody's like, I got like these super cheap leads. And I'm like, but are they sending you qualified coaching clients? Well, not really. Exactly. And if it fails, the only thing you can do is spend more money and hire someone else. And it just creates this chaos of what to do. So I want to share with you the one thing that will fix everything, virtually every problem in your life and your business, if you can focus on mastering it, okay? And you've got to be able to focus on it so that you can get your business to the next level. And it's this: you will never be short on high-ticket clients again if you master paid traffic. Because again, you can turn it on, if it's working, you can increase it, and you can scale, all those kinds of things that you can't do with the other places. And Facebook is the best place right now. So I want to share with you for the next couple minutes the 3M Money Client Matrix system that I use for getting coaching clients with Facebook ads. Now, I can predict how successful a coach will be a year from now with almost 100% accuracy based on the next slide, okay? The money client mindset. Now, this is super important because like I said, I've coached over 1,000 coaches, and I will tell you this is number one problem. This isn't normal mindset stuff. This is related specifically to getting clients from Facebook, okay? Now, it's hard, it's cut off at the top there, so I apologize. But the broke coach mindset. How can I spend as little as possible to get clients, okay? That's what a lot of broke coaches will say. How much will it cost me to get clients, right? How much is it going to cost me? Once I start getting clients, how can I spend less to get even more clients, right? That's what I did. I don't have any money to spend on clients, getting clients from Facebook, okay? And it leads to despair and frustration because it's this fear-based lack mindset. And the coaches who are playing to not lose inevitably lose. You need to play to win in order to achieve the goals you want. You know, the retirement savings you're trying, paying down debt, growing your business, trying to prove somebody who in your life thinks you're crazy wrong. They're like, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to build this coaching business and stuff? Prove them wrong and then change the world. You cannot play to not lose. You have to play to win. So let's talk about the money mindset compounder. Okay, it starts out first with your story, and I've stolen this from Tony Robbins. He's been teaching this for years. Here's the thing. If you get a coach who has a bad story about getting clients and a bad story about their business, think Charlie Brown. Very negative. Everything's bad. Nothing's going to work. Here's what's going to happen. He's going to have a state that is disempowered, right? And you know what I mean by that. Just a very like, oh, everything bad happens to me. Nothing works for me. Because the story you're telling yourself about succeeding on Facebook ads and getting clients is going to manifest itself in terms of the state. And then the state that you have is actually going to affect the strategy you use. And so what we see a lot of coaches who have a disempowered story. Here it is. Everything fails. Nothing's working for me. I can't figure anything out. And so their state is very disempowered. They're sad. They're always mad. They're always frustrated. And so you can give them the single best strategy in the world. And the first problem that happens to them, the first adversity, what do? Their story is looking for adversity, okay? So their story is looking to prove it correct. So it doesn't maybe work right away, or it's harder or something. And they're like, yeah, I knew this wouldn't work. See, I knew this wouldn't happen. And then they continue to spiral out of control to the next thing. Whereas you get a successful minded coach who's basically telling themselves this: Facebook's going to work for me. I'm going to get clients. I'm going to scale my coaching business. I'm going to achieve all my goals. I'm going to make all these things happen. And guess what? They have an empowered state. They're playing to win versus playing to not lose. And so you can give them an average strategy and they're going to blow it out of the water and get amazing results because their state is empowered, and their story they're telling themselves is like, hey, my subconscious is finding reasons why this is going to work. And that's how you do this. And the successful coach mindset basically is, how can I invest more to make more? If I'm spending $1 and making 3, 4, 5 back, how can I get even more, right? My business is the most profitable investment with the ROI, right? Like, hey, you know what? Like, you spend $1 to make 3 or 4 or 5 back, that's 400 or 500% ROI, right? And you scale it, obviously. Where you get the S&P 500 or mutual fund, it's like 4, 5, 6, 8% per year. Your business is your most profitable investment. Free coaching leads are the most expensive kind because it's your time. If you spend the next 12 months focusing on just posting on Facebook and posting on Instagram and doing Instagram Reels and doing this and doing that, where are you going to be a year from now? Well, we got to look back on where have you been in the last year. Okay, so we need to realize that free coaching leads are the most expensive kind, and we need to use ads, okay? I can't scale my business past $3,000 a month without paid traffic. And this is the truth. I mean, good luck. I rarely see a coach who can scale past $3,000 a month without paid traffic, because focusing all your time on all this organic stuff is extremely hard. Or the other way is you get clients from Facebook, they sign up to your stuff, they're liking your stuff, they're connecting with you, and guess what? All this momentum, they're booking, they're following you on social media, all that kind of stuff. So you actually get the free social media from the people who are registering for your stuff, watching your stuff, booking calls. So you actually get what you've always wanted, and you get a stable business. Let me tell you about Jen. Jen's in one of the hardest markets online. Okay, extremely hard. She was able to create a whole new business. We worked on it on one day, and that next month she did 14,000 first month in this new business. Now Jen does over $1 million a year in her coaching business. Now, not every coach wants to make $1 million a year, and this isn't the claim. This is what she wanted to do, and she did, and it's because she had that right mindset. Even though she's in an incredibly hard niche, she's doing it. Okay, now let me tell you about number 2. The second thing we need to do is only attract people who have money. Well, that's obvious. If a coach only attracts broke people, will they ever succeed at getting clients? Well, the answer is obviously no. Okay, just because you run an ad doesn't mean it's going to reach people with money. And this is the biggest problem a lot of coaches have, is they're running ads and they're just kind of just getting broke people. And also they're saying like, hey, are you successful only, if you're a weight loss coach, you're like, this is only for women who are successful and make 6 figures a year. And then they're like, I'm getting a bunch of broke people reaching out to me, right? This is why organic is so dangerous. You have virtually zero control who is consuming your stuff, okay? Basically, why is it so bad? You can't control where your stuff goes. You can't control who reaches out to you from your content. You can't dial up or dial down the amount of people you reach with your content. You can spend months or years on a strategy before you realize it's only attracting broke people. I mean, on one of my business pages on Facebook, I have about 30,000 followers from the Philippines. Somehow, all my stuff went viral over there. And I mean, that's great, and they're super amazing people, but that's not my audience. And you can't control that, right? So then they take their stuff and they're like, okay, well, I'm going to it's not working on organic, so I'm going to try it on Facebook ads now. And this is what happens. It's a complete explosion, and it doesn't work. So here's what coaches do to fix this. They lower their prices, which never works. If they're not paying what you want, we need to get you people who can afford your prices, right? And they try and fix their internal money blocks, which is, maybe that's part of the problem. But look, it's not always. It's more of a tactical issue, right? Obviously, you talked about the money client mindset, and it sounds like you probably are going to hopefully have that. Then they create complex funnels to get qualified people, which never work and waste all their time. And next thing you know, you get $1,000 worth of subscriptions for tools, or they use like crazy NLP stuff to try and get people to buy, and hypnosis and stuff. And I'm all for, all those modalities, and that's fine. And that's great, but they try and manipulate people and it doesn't work. Or they learn another enrollment call technique and sell even harder. Try another audience or another niche and it totally fails. So let me tell you about the money client matrix system, okay? Here's where the clients with money are, okay? When you run an ad on Facebook to say 1 million people, Facebook will never run your ad to that whole audience. They just won't. It's not designed that way. Their artificial intelligence is going to find probably about the 0.5% who they think are qualified. And this is very important you pay attention here, because this is probably causing a lot of your problems. Or if you're going to run ads, this is why they're going to fail, because they go into the wrong pie slice, okay? Let me give you an example of this. So this is an audience of about 1 million people, and I spent $2,500, not a lot, and I squished together some of the other metrics just because I needed to show this to you. I only reached 1,818 people. You see that, the reach? And it showed my ad to them 3.74 times. So what it did is it literally went into that audience of 1 million people and found 1,800 and showed the ad to them multiple times. And it didn't break out of that pie slice, okay? You're like, well, I got 1 million people. There's got to be qualified people. Well, there probably is, but Facebook's going to predetermine this, and they're going to go into a pie slice. This is very important. So they go into this pie slice, and now once they're in it, you need to know if it's the right pie slice or not. And what a lot of coaches do, they're just like, well, everybody's broke and nobody's moving forward, so I'm going to change the ad. I'm going to make all these budget changes. I'm going to do all this. But you haven't actually fixed the real problem. Is Facebook keeps wedging your ad into the wrong part of your audience. So it doesn't matter if you're like, hey, only click this ad if you make $500,000 a year or more and have $25,000 available on a credit card today that you want to buy my life coaching mindset program or whatever it is. Facebook's already wedged it into the wrong audience. Or you keep doing it and then they keep going again into the same wrong place, all right? And you can see here again why they did that. So how is this happening? The secret to Facebook right now is artificial intelligence, okay? It's the best thing that's ever happened to Facebook, and you need to know how to use it, because artificial intelligence has made it a lot easier if you know what you're doing. If you don't, the AI is going to wedge your stuff into the wrong place every single time. Okay? If you know how to fix this, it's going to wedge it into hopefully the right place. And Facebook ads, in my opinion, from doing it since literally they started, has never been easier. Okay? Way easier than 2021, 2022, 2023. It's getting easier, not harder. So that's why I can confidently say, I feel like this is the best time to use Facebook ads, because remember, Facebook wants to run your ads to the qualified people because it gets a higher click-through rate at which they make more money. And the other thing is it creates a better user experience, right? So they are incentivized and they know your audience better than you do. So they want to run your ad to the right people. Now, what I want to do is I want to tell you, if you're here and you're like, Jason, just give me like one secret. What's like the number one thing that I can know to run ads on Facebook? Okay, I'm going to tell you what it is. But first I'm going to tell you what it is, what isn't, okay? It's not your ad, okay? Obviously your ad's important. We need to have the right ad, okay? Right image, all that kind of stuff. That's basic, okay? It's not your targeting. I have campaigns with no targeting. What does that mean? That means I'm targeting like people just 45 plus who live in the United States. That's it. My ads are going to like 70 million people, and yet Facebook's artificial intelligence knows where the qualified ones are. Okay, I'm going to tell you about Natalie in a second. You will not believe what she's doing with this. Okay, I'm going to tell you about her in a second. Getting into the right pie slice is the single biggest secret. You can have the most amazing ad, the most amazing offer, the most amazing everything. But the problem is if Facebook keeps popping it into the wrong pie slice because of the artificial intelligence, you're not going to succeed. Okay. And this, quite frankly, in my opinion, if you've been running ads, is probably why it hasn't been working. They keep putting your stuff in the wrong pie slice. So this is the biggest thing that you have to understand. Artificial intelligence is the best thing ever. It makes it so much more easier if you know what's going on. If you don't, it makes it way harder. And so that's why so many coaches fail. Let me tell you about Natalie. Natalie started with me. She's doing about, she was losing money. Okay. Now she's growing her business to, coaching business to over 7 figures a year, helping women 50 plus find love again. Okay. So obviously an extremely competitive market, but she's doing absolutely amazing. And Natalie has a campaign or multiple campaigns or whatever running. And guess who they're targeting? There is no targeting. They're literally running to tens of millions of people. She's in her campaign. She's not even targeting single, anything like that. The artificial intelligence is so smart that it knows where Natalie's single people, 50 plus, who are interested in finding love again, and serves those ads up to her, to them, and then they book calls with her. How powerful is that? Okay. But again, you've got to understand how to do it. You can't just launch a Facebook campaign and don't put any targeting in and think it's somehow going to work. That's not it at all. I'm just giving you some examples of how powerful this is and how it's worked for Natalie, worked for me, it's worked for others. Jen, who I showed you already there, same thing. Facebook's AI is finding the right people, okay? Now, so the second thing you got to do, let's just go back, is the first thing is you got to have the money coach mindset, okay? And you have to have that empowered state. The second thing you need to do is you need to focus on attracting the qualified people and get your ad into that right pie slice so the AI can just do its work, okay? Third thing you need to do is you need to leverage what I call my 15-minute per day ad system. Now, this is not a claim. If it takes you longer, I don't know. Then it takes you longer. And this is also not a 3-minute ab type thing where it's like, 15 minutes a day. It literally, if you're doing it right, you can't spend more than that on it. And I'm going to show that to you. Most coaches spend all day trying to get clients and get virtually none. Okay, you never signed up for this to just spend all day trying to get clients. You never signed up to wake up in the morning and go, I have an empty calendar. Nobody's reaching out to me. So I got to create a ton of content. I got to do all this. And here's the problem. All that content you're creating on social media, it's literally only as good as yesterday's news tomorrow because it's a machine. It needs new content every day. So every day you're starting at zero. Every day you got to come up with more ideas for videos and this and that and shorts and reels and amazing quotes and amazing thoughts, okay? One of the best and most popular experts out there in the organic content marketing space was saying on a podcast, he spends $200,000 a month on his content team. He has all these people coming up with ideas and working with him. $200,000 a month to make his free social media work. Like the average coach doesn't want to do that, okay? Virtually no coach said, I want to be a coach so I can do marketing, sales, and technology all day. Making anything less than $30,000 a month in your coaching business should be part-time, and I'm going to prove that to you here. And you should only be spending 15 minutes a day on your marketing, assuming that it's working, okay? Here's what most coaches do all day. They network, they chat, they try and figure out complex funnels, create content, write more books, buy endless amounts of training programs, figure out the training programs, hire done-for-you experts who get bad results, and very few clients and no hope. So here's my 3-step 15-minute per day ads plan. You check the KPIs. So on Monday morning, we'll just say Monday morning, you log in and you're like, what do the key performance indicators look like? Do I have the right amount of webinar registrations if that's what it is? Do I have the right amount of call bookings? Is the click-through rate on my ad the right amount? Is the cost per click the right amount? All these kinds of things, right? Are they the right amount? And there's about 10 of them. It's not complicated. If I can figure out, so can you, okay? I have a theology degree, okay, so you can figure this stuff out. Then we reset and test one variable if it's below the KPIs. So for example, maybe the percentage of people clicking on your ads is not high enough. So we're going to switch out an image, tweak the headline, and then what we're going to do, Or let's say it's working and we're just going to leave it for another week. All right. The one thing that I say to my clients all the time is hurry up and wait. Just leave it. It's working. Why is this? Here's why. It needs to optimize. What does this mean? Facebook needs to get it into the right pie slice. And here's what the majority of coaches do. They launch their ad, and then the next day they're freaking out. And so they're changing images and changing this and doing all that. And Facebook's like, hey, I know your people better than you do. Let me go find them. And Facebook needs a few days to go find their people. And then once it locks in, it works if you do it right. But so that's what I'm saying is, like, in some cases, these campaigns can run for 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks or longer, but you have to let it optimize, and you can't keep overriding it or it's just going to break. And then your calendar is going to be full of these people. Does this guy look like he's qualified and is going to buy from you? No, he's not qualified. Does he look like he has the money? Would you even want him as a client? No. But that's what happens when coaches run ads and they don't let it optimize, because it's almost like they have this guilty feeling of like, well, if I just leave it, there's something wrong. No, Facebook's literally going out and finding your people. The problem is most coaches don't know what they're looking for. They don't know the key performance indicators, so they launch it and they're like, oh my gosh, it's not working. What do I do? You need to know the metrics, okay? So that you can tell, hey, this is good, it's going to be okay, and it's going to optimize, and it's going to work, okay? Meaning, when I say optimize, meaning it's finding that pie slice where your people are, all right? Because the easy part is pressing on and launching it. But the stuff that takes the work is, okay, is it working? Is it doing the right thing? And that's why I'm saying, like, you don't need to spend a lot of time doing this. And this is the biggest problem I see as it relates to this. We're emotional beings, right? And I don't mean in a bad way, but even I do this. Like, it can be easy to look at my ad account and go, oh, I'm going to shut that off, or oh, I'm going to stop that, or I'm going to do this. And I actually have somebody on my team who's extremely good at ads, one of the best in the world. And I always run decisions by him. I'm like, hey, what do we do with that? Should we leave that? What do you think about that? Because my emotions are attached to my credit card, right? And we're spending money on ads, where he can see things logically. So he'd be like, you know what, I think we should leave that. I'm like, all right, I'm going to defer my decision to you. And 99% of the time, he is right. Because I'm like, oh, should I stop this now and this and that? I don't know what to do. I get stuck in my own head, right? It's human nature. So that's why doing this alone and not knowing the numbers is leaving you in a really, really bad situation, because your emotions will always override logic, and you will sabotage the thing that was actually going to work because of fear and not knowing what's working. Let me tell you about Sid. This picture's bad. Sid's a great guy. He's in his late 70s now, and Sid makes around $25,000 to $30,000 a month helping salespeople overcome call reluctancy. And guess what? He only resets his ads like every 3 months on average, because he keeps getting the right spot. He comes on our call, we help him out. He can do it on his own, but he just wants our advice because, again, same thing. He doesn't want to do it alone because he doesn't want his emotions, not the bad emotions, but just general thought process, to override doing the right thing. And he's part-time. He doesn't do this a lot, but look at the market he's in. Salespeople overcoming call reluctancy. That screams broke, right? He works with offline salespeople. So why is it working? Because Facebook knows, because of everything we worked with them on and all the AI stuff, they know to find the right people. And the majority of people reaching out to Sid booking calls are 80, 100,000 plus earners, and they just want to get better at it. So he's not working with completely broke people, because of the artificial intelligence is doing the work for him. He literally only resets his ads every 3 months or so, and then he just checks his stats. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Not everybody can let you have to pause, duplicate, relaunch, sometimes more than that. But anyway, this is an example of one. And Sid's in his late 70s. He's not looking to build a huge empire. He just wants to make decent money and enjoy his life. Okay? Now, you got to remember, this is not 2021 anymore. It's not as hard. Facebook knows where your people are. They know when to send ads to them. They know what they'll click on. whose ads that are similar to yours that they're clicking on, and who's interested now. They know all that. But there's a problem. Most coaches, again, are just doing it the wrong way, or they're focusing on organic, and then they end up going off a cliff, all right? So I want to prevent you from doing that, because here's what most coaches' brains look like at the end of the day. Exhausted. It doesn't need to be that complicated. There's one thing we need to focus on, and it's getting these ads to work, and it will take care of everything else, right? This is like Tanya sent me this thing. Hey, we sold 31,000 in workshops, probably going to be 37,850. Sent me an amazing video. And they're in an extremely hard market, which is in the real estate niche, okay? Facebook is the best opportunity to get clients right now, but there's a problem, okay? What I did is I went on LinkedIn and I looked up names of coaches, and you've got life coaches. So there's 284,000 life coaches who have a job title on LinkedIn, 292,000 health coaches, 1.68 million relationship coaches, 677,000 business coaches, and 1.66 million mindset coaches, okay? There are hundreds of thousands of coaches post-COVID trying to reach the same people. Now, also, it's really hard to peg how many of those are on Facebook because they don't have that tool. But basically, if there's that many people with that job title on LinkedIn, imagine how many of them are on Facebook as well. Hundreds of thousands of people. And so what you need to realize is you need a better strategy and a more simple strategy. And hopefully you can see now from what I've been sharing with you, Facebook is the best place to get these clients because it's easier now than it's ever before due to the artificial intelligence if you're using the right strategy. My biggest mistake is I waited too long, and it cost me dearly. It cost me tons of debt. It cost my family a lot of struggle. It cost us having date nights at the mall, local mall food court, where you go to that Chinese restaurant where they give you, 5 items for $3 and then we could share them. It was horrible, all because I was scared. And I didn't step in faith and trust that I could make it work, okay? It's like Michelle. I'm going to go over this real quickly. She's at 24,000 on the month. And how much did she spend at that time? $900, okay? 900,000 in 24, $900 in 24K in her second month doing this in a competitive market. Yeah, it works. Are you going to do that? I don't know. That's up to you, right? So how much is it costing for you not to be enrolling more high-ticket clients from Facebook right now? Your market, it was likely there, okay? But the people who should be working with you are buying from other coaches who, quite frankly, probably are not as good as you at what you do. And so the people who are not working with you are missing out on your life-changing coaching, and you and your family are missing out on the opportunity to grow your income, to take care of your life, and wasting all this other time on all these other traffic sources that clearly are not working. So what's the solution? A fancy ad? We already told you, no, it's not. It's not that. More free strategies? No. 2-cent clicks? Nope. Keep hoping it will work. If you spend enough? Nope. We've got to get you over this wall, okay? So the answer is this, the right system. I'm making a bold prediction. 95% of coaches who are not making at least 30 or 300% ROI on their ads are going to be shut out of Facebook within the next 12 to 24 months. Okay, pretend if you started now and you knew that SEO, everything about search engine optimization, and it was 2003, and you could rank sites for health coaching and life coaching and all that kind of stuff. The power of Google search in 2003, you would have dominated it, right? Or what if Google AdWords, you started in 2003 and you're spending 4 or 5 cents a click? It was easy, but now it's not. Now it's really expensive. But Facebook is here, and now's the time, because guess what? The window is closing, all right? It's not going to be this easy forever. We have an open window because of the artificial intelligence, and it actually, in my experience, is making things a lot easier to get clients because there is no next great thing. Facebook is it, okay? But the problem is it's getting more competitive, and we've got to get this fixed. But the good news, like I said, it is, in my opinion, easier now because of AI. If you know how to do it. Facebook's like, hey, I know your people. I know where they are. I know how to find them. Let me do the hard work because I am smarter than you in that sense, Facebook is saying, and it's become so much easier. So here's how we can fix this fast. I'd like to give you the opportunity to leverage what I've learned through the process of investing $2,873,520.97 on buying Facebook ads for free, okay? Remember, that's how much the average American making $50,000 a year would make working 57 years. It's a lot of money, all out of my own pocket on my credit card, obviously, right? I would like to set up a free 100% or 100% complimentary free Facebook ads affluent client attraction blueprint call with my team. Here's exactly what's going to happen during the blueprint call. We're personally going to put together a Facebook ads marketing plan blueprint for you so that hopefully you can take it, you can do whatever you want with it, can start attracting clients who have money. And before I tell you why we're willing to do it for free and why you don't really risk anything, let me tell you about the personalized plan. During this call, we're going to outline for you, hey, the custom blueprint so you can ideally, hopefully, take it and, make some money on it. We would, and get hopefully an extra 10 grand a month. I don't know, however much you're trying to make from Facebook. You will leave this call with the exact system I've used to generate millions of dollars using Facebook ads. And here's why we're willing to do this call 100% for free. It's not a sales pitch call, okay? Here's the high pressure pitch that will happen at the end of this. We will say, would you like help implementing this plan? And you can say yes or no, okay? However, we only bring on a small amount of clients, and this is very true. We don't work with a ton of people, and we turn away about 40% of the people who book calls with us. So there's a very good chance we might not even talk to you about this. Some people book calls and they're not coaches. We can only help coaches, okay? So you need to be a coach. Now, so the worst thing that's going to happen is you'll leave the call armed with the exact plan you need to hopefully get clients from Facebook ads. Plus, I'm going to give you 3 exclusive bonuses. Bonus number 1, you're going to get the perfect perfect 300-word ad formula that I use to attract qualified clients from. I'm going to give you the ad template and a video on how to implement it, okay? It's a template plus the video. You're going to get that sent to you right after your call. The second thing is the snowball system matrix that I use to attract affluent clients. What goes on behind the scenes, what you need to know, because there's other stuff and I want to share that with you, and that's another training video. Third thing is how to target the top 5% most affluent households on Facebook with your ad. Now, there's a setting in Facebook that will allow you to narrow your targeting. So let's say you're a health coach and your audience is 1 million people. You can actually use this setting right in Facebook. They pull the data supposedly from the IRS, and you can narrow your audience down to the top 5, 10, 25, or 50% of most affluent households that Facebook has access to. Would that help? So instead of going after all 1 million people, you can narrow it probably down to a couple 100,000, and then that helps. So then the AI knows to go after those people, and then hopefully it goes into the qualified area of those people. Okay, it's in Facebook. I'm going to show you how to use it. I'm going to give you this training for free. You can't get any of these bonuses anywhere else, and this could be a life changer, all right, especially if you're attracting broke people. Now, so what's going to happen is the best thing that will happen is you'll love the plan and you'll want to be a client. And if not, that's okay. The bonuses come right after they'll get emailed to you automatically after your call. So what I want you to do is go to nyback.com/FB call. Okay? Nyback, NYBACK, TECH.com/FB call. And there'll be a little form. You'll just fill out some information so we can understand your coaching situation, get a little background information on what you're trying to do, who you're trying to help, all that kind of stuff. And then you'll be redirected to a calendar and you'll be able to book a call with my team. Now, why not myself? Well, the biggest reason is this. We work with, a number of clients. I'm spending all my time on that. Plus I'm doing all our ad stuff. And so our team is fully trained and they're going to explain to you what's working, what's not working, how it's, the KPIs you need to know, because this is very important. I want you to watch this here. Look at Heather, okay? Heather grew her coaching business to $16,000 a month, coaching people to overcome plantar fasciitis. How in the world do you find people interested in overcoming plantar fasciitis on Facebook? Okay? Well, you have to do it using a proper AI strategy, and that's exactly what she did. Now, so go to nibacktech.com/FB call. Next thing is like, what is the cost of not knowing what's working? Okay? It's huge. The cost of not knowing what's working is huge. Because a lot of coaches, what they're doing is they're just throwing stuff at the wall. They're just hoping it works, and it's not working. And so what we need to do is show you the KPIs. We're going to show you what's working, what's not working, and how to optimize it, all right? Now, the other thing you need to understand is this. The next thing here, we'll go to the next slide, is remember, I've invested over $2,873,520 into Facebook ads over the last few years, okay? So here's the thing. After coaching over 1,000 people, I know and we know the KPIs that you need to know. So this is a free call. And you're going to get on here and we're going to be able to tell you what the metrics are for your market. What's working, what you need to know, how much you should be paying per click, per subscriber, per person who, per call, how much it should cost you per sale, what you should be paying cost per click. Like, you don't have to go figure all that out. I can give you estimates, okay, based on what I've already spent. That's going to save you a ton of time, all right? Because the coaching market has shifted. The strategies that worked a couple years ago are no longer working to get clients when you have hundreds of thousands of other people trying to reach the same people as you. So that's why it's so important that we can outline for you the strategy that's actually working, but we can only do it on a one-on-one call, okay? It's really hard to do it on a webinar. We need to help apply it to your personal situation. So you're gonna get the 3 bonuses, and which is gonna give you the ad template, a video of the ad template, the snowball system strategy, plus how to target the most qualified people on Facebook, right? You're gonna get that. Plus, we're gonna share with you the key performance metrics you need to know for your market. Because if you're launching Facebook ads, how are you gonna know it's gonna work? How are you gonna know the prices you should pay? How are you gonna know how many people should be clicking on your ad? So instead of just blowing a bunch of cash, your only investment is to hop on a 45-minute, hour-long call so we can dig into it and look at it and give you some solid feedback and advice to show you what we're doing and what we've seen working from all of the clients we've worked with. Because we have the data on the majority of niches. Obviously, if there's some obscure niche out there, we might not know it, but we can give you the range. So just go to nibacktech.com/FB call and we'll get going. Let me tell you about Amanda. She was able to hit $25,000 her first month and then had another $22,000 week after working with us. And she's in one of the hardest coaching markets there is, which is the coaching coaches who coach coaches niche. Extremely competitive. But she was able to do this, again, finding the qualified people, getting to the right place, having the artificial intelligence do the work for her, okay? So nibacktech.com/FB call. And one more example, which is Beth, okay? Again, Beth came, during COVID, and she helps women overcome infidelity, women who've been victims of infidelity. How does Facebook find those people? Again, it's the AI getting it into the right pie slice. Sure, the ad's important in the messaging, but these other things are more important. So when you book your call at nibacktech.com/FB call, you're also going to get redirected to a page that includes interviews with most of these. I think everybody on here has interviews who I've talked about. Because here's the problem. Doing this alone is really hard because, like we said, if you don't know the numbers, if you don't know what you're looking for, if you don't know what the KPIs, key performance indicators, should be, it makes it really stressful. And then what we tend to do as humans is we pull back into our comfort zone and go back to doing the exact thing that wasn't working in the first place or getting us really subpar results. And here's the cool thing is, like I said, with the advancement of artificial intelligence, Facebook ads is working better, in my experience, than ever before. It's way more simpler. And I explained that to you through like Jen's example, through Natalie's example, Sid's example of it is working a lot easier now, and my example, but we can't help you unless you book a call. So just go to nybackTech.com/FB call. And again, your only investment's some time. And if you want to work with us at the end of that, great. We'll see if it's a good fit. But the most important thing is we've got to get you out the plan, look at your stuff, and show you what's working and what's not working in your niche so that you're not flying blind. And then obviously we're going to get you those bonuses. They're going to come out at the end of the call as well. They'll be automatically emailed to you. So the only risk is just some time to see if this works. Or you can spend money on another course, go and waste a bunch of time figuring this out yourself, or just run ads and hope. But again, you don't need to do that. I've spent a lot of money. I know the metrics. We'll share with you what we see out there is working, share with you the plan for overcoming the complexities of the fact that there's so many other coaches out there to compete against. Because remember, credibility is great. All that stuff's great. But when everybody is doing the exact same thing, it neutralizes the effectiveness of it and it doesn't work as well. So that's why we got to have a better strategy to help get you to that next level and to hopefully make this work. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. Head over to nybackTech.com/FB call, just fill out the form, and then you'll be able to get redirected to the calendar. And then once you fill out the time, you'll be taken to a page that's going to give you a link to all those videos and interviews and stuff like that. Look forward to helping you. And again, excited. I've never been more excited about the future, about where Facebook's at, about what's going on. And hopefully you're excited too about what you can do and the people you can help and the life change that can hopefully happen from what you're doing. All right, it's been great working with you today. Have a good day.